Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome back to How Copper Trump Became King is what this is amounting to over the course of our research in this series, How Copper Became King. We are on number 7, if you're just tuning in to the series. Today, we'll be diving into a video game about a copper time-traveling ship. The game includes figures that are close to Donald Trump, like Nikola Tesla, and of course the connection there is his uncle, John Trump, who collected Tesla's papers on the 33rd floor of the Wyndham New Yorker building after he died. Yes, Tesla died on the 33rd floor. The building later became the headquarters for the Moonies that Trump spoke at, and also appointed Paula White as his spiritual advisor, who was also a Moonie. And there's all these Moonies connections now to Turning Point USA. You're not even going to believe this. It's insane. There were people suing the Moonies because there were people that were giving their entire retirement and life savings, handing it over, signing it over to the Moonies, who the children of these people then became very upset with the church. Now, what video game are we going to get into today? Well, the video game is called Into the Sun. Many of you will remember this decode that we did. But before we start this, let's pull this up here. This is the actor that I have in this little side frame here. And of course, you guys all recognize him. This is not an artificial intelligence image. This is Sean Connery, the original Highlander. You know, the time traveler. Clan MacLeod, which of course is Trump's mother's maiden name. Now this of course is a different film. This film is from The Man Who Would Be King. And it's based off of an 1888 novella. As you can see here, you can't make this up. Trump is the king. This is probably a film we need to look at. But let me check in with you guys, and then we will get into this. Yes, the Zardoz actor that we just decoded about a few months ago. Gosh, time seems like it's all running together, doesn't it? 007, remember? 67, 67. 006 and 007 in GoldenEye. All of it's connected. Yes, there were several Kane characters as well in The Man Who Would Become King. Michael Caine, Shakira Caine. Wow. We'll have to definitely take a look at that film at some point. But let's get into this video game. Close to the Sun. I wanted to open the show with just some updates on the election results. Checking with you guys, make sure we're connected and ready to go before we get into this video game. Now this is crazy. This video game is called Close to the Sun. Let's pull it up here, put together this montage that I uploaded yesterday, and it's called Close to the Sun, and it's about a copper ship built by Nikola Tesla himself. Nikola Tesla actually makes an appearance in the video game. And basically, this ship has its own power plant. It has a Wardenclyffe tower at the center of the ship, which draws energy from its surroundings. There are themes of time travel, as they're working on some experiment on the ship, which turns it into a time portal, where time is shifting in and out from the present. So that you have multiple realities. You've got these electric, resonant spirits that appear and disappear from different timelines on the ship. So as you can see, this is everything we've been talking about. Appears in this video game that I hadn't seen yet, which means we're on the right track. So this is called Close to the Sun. And as we go through this, it's really about repeating themes and patterns that we've already uncovered on this channel that seem to just persist in every new thing that we decode. And this video game is no different. So let's take a look and listen.
I am Nikola Tesla.
I know who you are. Now go away so I can speak to my sister.
I am afraid that won't be possible. As I'm sure you are aware, the Helios is under strict quarantine, and for that quarantine to be effective, I cannot have you and lead researcher Archer be opening containment doors all over this ship.
So, let's stop there. That was really loaded. We had quarantine. Now remember, this is a pre-CV19 video game. This came out in 2019, long before any mention of CV19. Yet, we have a lockdown mentioning, we have quarantine. What else did he say? Let's go back to, we're going to put these closed captions on so you guys can kind of hear what's going on. I wonder if this will work. Let's put the closed caption on here. So 100%.
The damage already caused is severe. I cannot allow you to this situation.
Let's back that up.
I am afraid that won't be possible, as I'm sure you...
Oh, the other thing he mentioned was Archer. Remember we talked about arrows. Now, we pretty much figured out that the arrows mean the serpent coming out of Superman's chest. It's why he has a serpent coming out of his chest. We compared that to the film Alien, where the alien comes out of his chest. We confirmed that with the Stargate series, where they have a Goa'uld serpent coming out of the chest called a symbiote. Remember all that? So that's what it is. It's the demon possession of the being, of the clone, of the golem, whatever you want to call it. This is the technology that these people have figured out. And this is why the ancient Egyptians thought that they could be immortal. It's because they had a plan, and it was all about science.
You are aware the Helios is under strict quarantine, and for that quarantine to be effective, I cannot have you and lead researcher Archer be opening containment doors all over this ship. The damage already caused is severe. I cannot allow you to... This situation is resolved.
What happened? I've been worried sick.
My transmissions were being jammed, but I found a way around it. I assume Nicola got you locked up too.
Yeah, but I got out. I'm almost at the biolabs. You're still there, right?
Wait, you got out of the lockdown? How?
I got help from that Aubrey guy. He's trapped too.
You can't make this up, you guys.
Right. Okay. A large experiment went boom. It ruptured a current of time and dangerous things have flooded through it. These things have been killing us. All of us. We've tried to contain it all.
Quarantine? What have you got yourself into, Ada?
So, obviously, quarantine, same themes. Now, what you're looking at now are called pneumatic tubes. We just covered this, you guys. Where do we see the pneumatic tubes? Well, there's a system of pneumatic tubes under Manhattan, and the central point seems to be underneath 40 Wall Street, owned by Donald Trump. In the basement is a vault with pneumatic tubes. We found that in an episode of Person of Interest, starring Jim Caviezel. And they actually filmed that episode inside of Trump's 40 Wall Street. What's the significance of 40 Wall Street other than the pneumatic tubes? Well, it's the fact that it is topped with copper. The roof is copper. And we told you that copper is a conductor of electricity. And these pneumatic tubes go back hundreds of years, this technology. It predates networks of any kind. These were the first networks. Is this all starting to settle in and make sense for you now? And these first networks were precursors to the networks we have now. Copper conductors. So all these tubes went underneath Manhattan, miles and miles of tubes. There was a similar network underneath Paris, France. And then they used these very same pathways and tubes when the telegraph came online. And then they used the same tubes later in history when they put in electrical circuits in the electric grid. And then we went from that to 5G whiz. They might have even used these lines for cable. And you see now that this has been a long, drawn out, very meticulously planned takeover of humanity. Control. And all of it started with banks. This is what they originally used the pneumatic tubes for. Bank transactions. And here we are full circle. And the very copper that you hold in the coin of your hand will become the prison bars of your reality. Why? Because they're going to need that copper for everything from electric cars to the electric 5G whiz, the base stations. They're all copper. And of course, there are many, many, many more base stations necessary for 5G whiz than the older technology, the 4G whiz. And so now we have ourselves everything being based off of electricity, bringing us full circle to Nikola Tesla.
Wow.
There you heard it. Calling out that copper would be king. That was November 4th, 2020 is when this video uploaded. And here we are in 2026, and copper is king. The value of copper has doubled since this video. Let's keep listening. And the first president of electricity and telegraphs, which was Abe Lincoln.
Cryptic. Who is this message for?
Now, here's a scene from Person of Interest, and they talk about the research being the key. Remember I kept telling you the key. Janice. Well, here they're talking about it again, these repeating themes. So this is Person of Interest and Pneumatic tubes. They're actually in Trump's building right there in the scene. And in that particular episode, what did they talk about? Quarantine, lockdown, shutdown. Pneumatic tubes, which kind of sounds like pneumonia, doesn't it? Correction reset. 5G whiz powered AI. All of that was mentioned in the Person of Interest episode as well. Here's Trump's building, the copper top building. It's like a battery, right? This is his prize building as well. It makes him the most money. A lot of criminals live in this building per capita than any other building that he owns. And of course, we're back to the video game, and they show Nikola Tesla holding coins in his hand because coins are the secret. They've got him with devil horns here. Copper coins. And here's what they're going to do. They're going to pull the copper coins. Every single coin that you're holding in your hand has copper in it. Most of them have 70 to 90% copper. Penny, believe it or not, has the least amount of copper, 2.5%. All they got to do is pull this supply of copper off of the street, just simply by not releasing it from the bank, melt it all down, and they'll have all the copper they need for 5G whiz and beyond.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, but what the hell am I doing here? If you didn't write the letter, who did? It's in your handwriting and everything.
This is gonna sound weird, but it might have been me. Not present me, but future me. I know how crazy that sounds, but I promise I can explain everything. Let's rendezvous in my apartment. From there we'll escape together, okay?
Escape from what, exactly?
It's not safe here, Rose. It's spreading throughout the ship. I'll tell you everything when we meet up in my apartment. You need to grab a Faraday keycard.
Now, she's talking to her sister, which is basically like a ghost. And she's talking to her sister. She's trying to get her sister's research. Her sister was trapped on the ship. And she's cruising around the ship looking for her sister and the sister's research. Her sister's name is Ada Archer. There's the Archer reference. And she was the one that found the way to rip through the veil. Now, in her sister's search for her sister, she goes and looks on all these surfaces and she finds masks. Of course, these are like Illuminati masks, but also, as you're going to see in a second, it's a metaphor for the masks that we're all wearing right now.
It's not safe here, Rose. It's spreading throughout the ship. I'll tell you everything when we meet up in my apartment. You need to grab a Faraday keycard.
Yeah.
So, obviously, Wardenclyffe announces success from resonance with other dimensions. Only Tesla knows how it works.
Get keycard, use elevator, meet in your apartment. I got it.
Only Tesla
Open
knows. Whoa, dawn of free energy. Donald Trump. Let's keep watching. That's how it works.
Get keycard, use elevator, meet in your apartment. I got it.
Great. I won't be able to reach you on the radio for a bit, so just get there
There's another creepy mask.
and stay safe, okay?
Fine. But when you get there, I'm expecting some answers. Deal?
Deal. Oh, and sis, even if I can't explain why or how you got here, really am grateful that you're here. See you soon.
This is the creepiest mask because it's got a face covering on it. A face mask. So, precursors to exactly what we're going through right now. Now, what you're going to notice also is that they talk about a copper shortage, which is exactly what we said was going to happen. Like 3 weeks ago, we were talking about this, and here it appears in this video game from 2019.
Broadcast you again shortly. Be careful, sis.
I'll try.
These are
these visions from the past?
Of a backbone to actually do something.
Now, as we all know, toilet paper shortages are part of what we're going through right now. To this day, toilet paper is greatly inflated in price. You're lucky if you have it. And it's weird that every time we start looking into these time travel and portal and all this stuff, there's always a mention of toilet paper. And this video game is no different. It says to whoever is repeatedly stealing the toilet paper deliveries, hope you die of rectal hemorrhaging. Okay, let's keep watching. Whoa, rectal hemorrhaging. That's what happened to Trump, according to Sasha, who drove a tent peg, kicked a tent peg into, he claims, into his rear end. Wow. This isn't the only reference.
What the hell was all that about?
There's a crate of toilet paper. Completely different point in the game, but they wanted you to see this toilet paper spilling out of the crate. Series of independent purchases of bulk copper is traced through a shell company back to Wardenclyffe. Now, in the video game, Wardenclyffe is the name of Tesla's company that built the ship, and he's like a billionaire, basically, in this alternate reality. Now, this is important because a lot of stuff is made now from copper. In fact, a subscriber sent this to me. I didn't realize it, but you know those serpent bite skin patch technology for the new VCs that are supposed to be coming out, where it's like basically a band-aid that you put on. It looks like the fangs of a snake. Well, apparently those are copper-based quantum dots. And I didn't know that when we covered all this, but thanks to the subscriber who sent this to me, and now we know the truth. So copper is also going to be used in VC technology, possibly. We're also going to be doing a show later in the week about copper masks. They're now starting to infuse copper inside the masks. Now, I know that copper has antibacterial properties. That's part of the reason why they're doing it, but really, we're going to have another copper age. That's where we're all headed right now. Everything is going to be copper. It's like history coming full circle, right? Wow. We predicted the copper age 5 years ago. Let's keep listening. Now, this is a very dark game, so I would not recommend this game. There's a lot of, I'm actually shielding your eyes from a lot of the more gruesome parts of the game. You know, a lot of stuff in this game. So I'm giving you the highlights. Let's keep watching. So she goes into this room, and of course it's full of red balloons. Now there's other colored balloons as well. White, green, and red. But this is just weird. What do the red balloons mean? They mean pestilence, disease. So it's a woman's birthday in this particular room, but I believe this was put in here for a reason. So we leave the birthday suite, I guess you can call it, and there's all this cryptic imagery. The circle must be broken, written in blood. And these are the scientists that were able to pierce the veil. This is weather manipulation. And it says, New Wardenclyffe weather breakthrough, rain to provide Helios with electricity, which, by the way, the Helios is the name of the ghost ship that we're actually touring through right now with this video game. And of course, that relates back to Helios, helium, that links into the balloons, named after helium, Helios. So throughout the game, you get these newspaper clippings. I tried to read through them as many as I could. The circle must be broken. Here's Archer, her sister, and of course you just heard him say the circle must be broken. To me, that almost sounds like the Ouroboros, the snake eating its own tail. Okay, I'm going to pause here, check in with you guys. I believe that we had discovered that 40 Wall Street Trump's building was occupied or connected to one of Tesla's rivals. Do you guys remember us talking about that? Well, let's take a look at that. 40 Wall Street. let's see who was connected to this building. This is Trump's building, his most prized possession. And let's see here. Was it Westinghouse? Yes. C.F. Noyes was hired as the building's leasing agent at the end of 1940. One of the larger tenants during the 1940s was the Westinghouse Electric and Manufacturing Company. You guys, it's not an accident that that building is topped with copper. There are electrical reasons for that. Are you awake yet? Tesla versus Westinghouse, the electric wars. Wow. Let's keep watching here. Now remember, Arch, we found the key to that. That's the Arc of Triumph. Triumph is Trump, the Arc of Trump. The Arc of Triumphs were portals into the city. And now, of course, Trump is building an Arch of Triumph. Again, this video was from 5 years ago, so we pretty much predicted Trump's Arch of Triumph. Trump, Arch, DC. Here it is. Wow. Unbelievable. It's a portal to the city. Let's keep watching.
Hey, Rose, where are you?
I made it to your apartment, and if we were to make it off the ship alive, I need to understand what's going on. For example, you said a future you wrote me the letter that brought me here. What does that even mean?
My research is about exploiting loopholes in the flow of time. So a future me will write that letter and somehow send it back in time to get you here on the Helios. And I think I know how! Listen, Rose, I need you to grab me some very important research. There's a secret room in my room. You find it while I make my way through another laboratory department. I'll give you a clue. It's center stage.
That's it. You're just going to leave me to figure this out on my own?
So, blood sacrifice is required, obviously. And you hear this guy talk about needing blood to kill. Or to open up time, sorry.
It's center stage.
That's it. You're just going to leave me to figure this out on my own?
It says red blood for time blood. So they trade. This is what they trade it for. To see through portals.
We've made time bleed?
And it's spilling over from other timelines. And then you get what are called these antibodies that basically see and destroy anything that it's not in its proper time location. And they're basically like aliens. And I'm not going to show you those because they're kind of creepy. And they're kind of scary looking. And they chase her throughout the ship at different points of the game. Notify Mr. T. I think he will want to see this.
Someone has been deciphering the Edison spy code. Did Tesla know he had saboteurs on board? I'm guessing that blue haze is the reason for the quarantine? Exo, whatever they call it. What the hell was that?
That, my dear, was one of the temporal anomalies.
That thing is related to time. How does that make any sense?
Think of time as a biological system. These things are merely antibodies.
So they're antibodies, and they basically seek out and destroy.
Nevertheless, it is us.
How did you know? How did you know to close the door?
Well, they aren't exactly subtle. Wherever exotic energy goes, they follow.
Weather control, time manipulation. Is there any research they didn't do here?
Now, I included this part because obviously Dionysus is Apollyon. Dionysus is and does have the same birthday as Apollyon, December 25th, and he syncretizes with other sun gods. So there are direct references here to everything we've been talking about. Let's keep going.
Any idea where this notebook might be hidden? It's a fairly large theater, you know.
Afraid not. But how big can it be, really? Oh.
That says past, present, and future are all part of the same fabric. It just needs us to restitch it.
How can I have been here? Past?
So here's the part that I thought was important because it says project to create resonance with brain synapses to promote clearer thinking. So to me, this was the 5G Wiz component. These are millimeter waves here, as you can see. Let's keep watching.
It's right here.
So her sister finds the research, and Nikola Tesla wants the research because he feels as though he's found a way to bring back life. And this dovetails into this clone theory that we've been talking about lately, about how they've cloned things and they can re-energize them electrically to demon-possess these clones. Let's keep listening here. This is about the end here.
Why?
The research. I understand it now. They hold the keys to everything. We can bring her back. We can bring Ada back.
And that's how the game ends. The sun. So that was the decode on Close to the Sun. And I hope you guys got something out of that. We'll be doing more gaming decodes in the future. All right, we are back in 2026. That was a trip. Blown away. Let me go into the chat and we can hang out and answer any questions you guys might have. Let's see what's next in the series here. We're looking at this playlist. Copper. Unbelievable. Let's see here. Copper King Snake. The Rise and Fall. We'll do that one tomorrow. I don't want to overwhelm you guys with too much. Okay, let's go back in here. Now, it's interesting because a story that I had pulled up. Trump pushes for emergency electricity auction, underlining the difficult politics of rising utility prices and artificial intelligence. Everything is money with this guy. So this was on Friday. He unveiled a new action to attempt to make big tech companies pay their own way. Now understand that exactly the opposite of everything Trump does is true. He says one thing and does another. So the fact that he's pretending to make big tech pay their own way with electricity, just imagine that exactly the opposite is true. Okay. The plans are for a new emergency wholesale electricity auction that would seek to lock large tech companies into long-term energy contracts in order to provide what Trump's team promises will be more than $15 billion in new power generation projects as AI-fueled demand taxes power grids. Big tech's rapid expansion has contributed to rising electricity prices for consumers. Now, this was something else we said was going to happen. Nobody believed us, and now we're seeing that AI and big tech is causing electricity prices to go up. But it's too late now because everyone believed Trump. So it's too late. It's already happening. He already signed Stargate AI and all the data centers and the lithium mines and all that because not enough people woke up to the truth. You guys did on this channel. But, you know, the rest of the people in the United States just called us crazy conspiracy theorists. And now they're like, oh, he was right. But it's too late now. The time to act is when you start seeing lithium mines pop up and everybody opposes it and writes letters to their governors and says, no, we're not having this lithium mine because if Trump's the president, He said, we're not going that route anymore. But, this is how it works. This is why relevance is so important. When you see a channel hitting the mark every single time, you should probably try to make that a mainstream truth channel and get the word out to everyone that you can. We're not just throwing darts on a board. This information needs to be heard by the world in order for anything to change. Unfortunately, now the artificial intelligence runs everything, and it creates artificial traction and artificial popularity. So we're pretty much too late for that too. But it is what it is. And this is where we're at, you guys. This is the state of affairs. And understand this, these data centers aren't because they want to give us faster internet. The only thing that these data centers will be for will be the infancy of the police state, the infancy of the technocracy. Trump will say it's to protect us from other countries, and we need the data centers so that we can have the golden dome and all this, and driverless cars, and we're going to have flying cars soon. But at the end of it, it's just about total domination and control, so they can force agendas with no way to resist. Resistance will be futile. I saw a guy recently holding a pop stick, we have to call it, can't say what it is, claiming that he was gonna, he's out there with his pop stick standing out in the freezing cold waiting for ice to show up. I'm like, okay, well, what are you gonna do? Right? They don't care if you're holding a pop stick. You guys, they have technology. They can say your house blew up from a gas explosion. We've seen that happen many times. They can, and then really it's a drone strike, right? So, information is the only hope that we have. Overcoming the algorithms. Now, we've seen it done. There are certain people that have overcome the algorithms, but it's very difficult to do. It's very difficult to do. So, you're not going to do it with force because they already have the force. They have the technology and the force. They will get you before you get out of the gate. Based on your social media, based on your purchases. So, all right, I'm in the chat, you guys. Good morning. Yeah, yesterday's show was insane. We seem to have broken through. We did break the internet yesterday. I think we had almost 1,000 people watching the show, double what we normally have. But as you can see, the algorithms just readjust the very next day. And here we are back at our core group. Where did all those people go from yesterday? This is the frustration and madness of trying to get the word out. 2 steps forward, 1 step forward, 2 steps back is what I say. But we will continue on. All right. Yes, I believe we are being judged as well. All of this is judgment. It's which side of this do you fall on? And God's upstairs taking notes. Is it idolatry? Is it false worship of kings on earth? Or is it faith in him, in the Most High, and his method, and rejecting all of this stuff that's happening right now? Those are the 2 choices. And God is taking notes. He's looking at your heart. It's like, where's your heart? Are you a person that says, we just need to move along from the Epstein files? Or are you a person demanding that they be released and believing the victims? There's one heart issue. Everything exists in principalities and the condition of the heart, what you believe in, where you give your energy and your belief and faith. It actually matters. It actually matters much more than this physical reality and the things that we think matter. Is our heart storing up gold and silver so that we can, is that where our heart is? Is our heart in the economy that it's actually doing well? And so we're willing to look the other way when other things happen? Or is our heart with the truth and God And the suffering, you guys, I wake up every day and I can literally feel the suffering of the nameless children. I had a dream the other night. I literally was imprisoned somewhere and everything was okay until they marched me into a dark warehouse with cages stacked upon cages. The cages were actually shaped like a coffin. And I don't know about you, but I'm claustrophobic. And immediately I woke up because I could hear the moaning of the people trapped in the cages. And I knew that I would not survive that, being trapped in a cage indefinitely to live out my sentence. And I immediately jumped out of my dream just from the sheer horror of literally being trapped in a cage. And that's when God inspired me to do yesterday's show. That was what yesterday's show was born out of, that dream. And he said, it's in Pet Goat. You need to show it. And I sat down, I did my notes, and went through the whole thing, and that was yesterday's show. So this is what people are suffering. And until we stand up and help everybody else understand what's going on, nothing's going to change. This is why the files are so important, the Epstein files. It is the one opportunity we have to blow this thing wide open. To literally show the world what has been happening. You guys, I truly believe that the main currency of America is children. It is the very foundation of our country, all the money, everything. Our currency is children, if you can believe that. Both sides of the aisle. There is no aisle on Epstein Isle. And until we come to terms with that, nothing will change. And thousands, tens of thousands, and maybe even millions will continue to suffer. It's about time for that millstone to come down, isn't it? The millstone around the neck of those who dare to harm the children. And yes, there are children that are born with no identity. There are places on earth where literally mothers are impregnated, children are born with no identity. They're born just to be trafficked. They're called moon children. Can you imagine being born into that horror? God help them. All right, you guys, we'll be back tomorrow, probably with another episode of How Copper Became King. And this was a heavy show today, but everything you just saw was real. And I hope that moves you to take action, to actually don't come here for entertainment. Don't come here. Come here because you're actually seeing the truth about things, and you're seeing God warning you about things that are going to happen. It is now apparent to everybody watching this channel that we told you that there would be a very different Trump in his second term. And we all see now that that has happened. I told you the Gemini president, we would see the other face of the Janus. Now, the only reason why I was able to tell you that is because I was inspired to tell you that by the Holy Spirit. All right. Well, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Much love. Take care, everybody.